everybody. So how are you? Happy Monday. Look at me. I'm all chipper.
Hey.
I'm excited.
Hooray.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. So good morning, everybody. Thanks again for popping in and joining in with us this morning. We're here. We're both here. Eric is here.
Hello.
Hello. So we've got lots of stuff to update on, lots of fun stuff to share, lots of exciting things happening in the atmosphere.
Literally.
Yeah. So anyway, so good morning, everybody. I hope I got everybody. I know a few of you, Donna, Jay, Geraint, I haven't said good morning to you yet via text. Well, good morning. I hope everybody is going to have a great week this week. Hope you had a great weekend. I was working yesterday. I met with Sally, who's in. So hello, Sally. Met with Sally yesterday. But Saturday, I don't think I had any appointments out of the house on Saturday. Anyway, I don't know. I don't really know. But it was the first time it felt like it was, I don't know, I felt like I could breathe a little bit on Saturday. So I guess I didn't. I guess I didn't have any appointments out of the house. But at any rate, hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody, we got some more. Pam, Fanny, Alexander. Hey, Alex. Oh my gosh. Alex, are you not working today? Hold on. Wait, hold on. He says, let me pop it up. I can only see a little bit. Good morning. Mom and Dad are visiting this past week. They say, hi, good morning. Yes. Are you guys doing okay? Let me know how you guys are doing. So Alex purchased a wonderful home over in Waterloo.
Oh, such a good one.
It was such a good one. And I have to tell you, I don't know if we ever aired his reaction. Do you remember he sent me the little video clip of like his Ring doorbell or something? Sorry, my hair's all awry again. Anyway, the cutest daggone video ever. I'll have to find it and then we can post it because to this day, whenever I'm feeling bad, I'm like, okay, well that kind of makes things like worthwhile. So, Elizabeth said just baby visits on Saturday. That's what it was.
That's what it was. Yay.
Yes.
That's right.
We did a quick little baby bounce. We went from Elizabeth's house to Alyssa's house and had a quick little 10-15 minute-ish video or visit with the grandbabies to get our dose of, I call it the daily dose. I need a daily dose of those grandbabies, whether I see them in person. I know that's not going to happen every day, but I do require a daily dose of either photos or video or something. And it definitely makes every day a little bit brighter because they're so stinking cute. So anyway, so just as a reminder, as we get started this morning, if you have questions, I keep forgetting to ask this. If you have questions about anything, we'll do our best to answer. Obviously, there's a limit to what we have knowledge on. But if you have questions about what we're going through health-wise with Eric or about real estate or just about any of the things that we kind of talk about, feel free. Make sure that if you do that question, it's easier if you put a capital Q with a colon in front of it, just because that way when we are searching for questions, we can find that. Also, I'm supposed to remind you that if you like these little Monday morning get-togethers with our coffee, speaking of, here's my mug for today. I figured it was appropriate. This is the Disney mug. By the way, I love this handle. Look at that handle. It's like, it's just a cutest little, perfect little, I know you're like, it's a circle, Amy. No. It's not. It's like the Mickey ear shape. It's like really cute. Anyway, and this is the Disney mug from the home. I guess it's all the home stuff. Yes, you got you're ready over there?
Amy, I'm here on the other side of the table, and it occurred to me, like, we put in What's Brewing, like, Eric Update 3rd. Mm-hmm. Everyone's so nice, though. It's like I'm sitting over to the side. Like, I don't want people to worry, like, just quick breaking news. I feel great. That's all I wanted to say. So we have more updates. We have some irony, some irony about everything that's going on. But just wanted to start the update with, hey, I feel really, really good. So
yeah.
Every single day I felt better. Yesterday I had a regular day. It was like so weird. So we'll do more update in a minute. But I was sitting here going, they hear me off camera. It's like, is he laying in his hospital bed or whatever?
Well, by the way, just so you know, the week before I call it the tragic coffee time where I was like, I just couldn't keep it together. That one. Before that, he was like laying down over here. It was so bad. I'm like, this is why we cannot. What is the deal with my hair? Good.
Electricity.
No, it's not. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. Okay, I know you don't care, but anyway. All right, so we're going to get going. But before we do, I have to, well, first of all, again, cute mug. You can get these at the Disney store. You can get them actually at the parks too. At least I think you can. I think they're still there. But isn't it cute? I love it. I love the neutral colors. I love the castle inside the Mickey for the O for home. I love the shape of this handle. Oh my God, I almost spilt this all over the keyboard. I'm going to put it over here. Also, my wrist, sorry, my little bandages are starting to peel, but there's my surgery. That's much, much, much better. Had the stitches out. That was not fun. I don't even know when I did that. It could have been over a week ago, but at any rate, doing good here. And then I also wanted to thank Doug and Donna. They sent me this beautiful, they sent us, well, first of all, everybody is so daggone sweet. I can't stand it. You do not need to send us anything. Not a zip, nothing. You need to send us your love virtually out in the atmosphere. You need to scatter joy. That's what you can do all the time. But please, 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 when we acknowledge that people have sent us things, do not think that that's in any way a request. This was, I believe it was probably part closing gift. Yes. Is really what it was for when they closed on their home. I still need to get out there and see them. I can't remember what was going on when they closed. It was something. But at any rate, a beautiful bracelet by Brighton, which is my favorite jewelry store. So when I got this package, I was like, oh my gosh, it's something from Brighton. So Doug and Donna, if you're watching, thank you so much. And again, as a reminder to all of you, literally, truly, it's not BS. Our payment and our reward, all of that is to see you guys happy and to have you as a part of our extended family. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So anyway, so thank you for this. I don't want to not acknowledge when someone does something, sweet and kind and generous. But I do not want that to be like a little wink, wink, everyone do that. So anyway, so we're going to get going. I'm gonna have another sip of my coffee while we get ready for what's brewing. Okay, that was a couple sips of coffee. All right, so our brewing topics for today are Milton approaches.
What?
Huge builder discounts, and I do mean pretty substantial. And then obviously the Eric update, so you can see what's going on with our latest and greatest. Hold it a minute. I need to swat that. Okay, there was something over there. Milton approaches. So if you haven't heard, even I've heard this, and I'm not a person who typically watches like just the news generally. I mean, I do, but I don't.
You'll notice today we don't have you on behind you. We have the Weather Channel.
We have that on. So we have Milton. So Milton is the next hurricane, my friends. And this one is one that worries me a little bit. I'm not complacent. I don't ignore anything. We're always prepped and ready, but I'm never uber crazy worried. But for this one, I kind of am. And because, Eric and I have kind of always talked about the ones that we need to worry about are the ones that seem to kind of hit Tampa and then kind of go straight to us because there's not a lot of distance between, like we can drive to Tampa in 90 miles? Hour and a half. So that's not very far from where it might make landfall. Now, that being said, I want to pop up Laura's quote or her comment. Made it for hurricane happenings. My DCP parents are freaking out as they don't understand Orlando isn't Tampa. Totally understand. Tampa is, God love you. If you were in Tampa,
God, seriously, God bless you.
They need some help. They need to evacuate, which we'll talk about that in a minute too. But yes, for anyone, my parents include, well, my parents, my mama, anybody out there, Central Florida is a little bit protected, right? Because we're in the middle. We're in Central Florida. So it's going to make landfall on one of the coasts if there's a hurricane. For Milton specifically, we're talking about the Gulf Coast side. Depending on where it hits, hits land and how those winds are going will determine kind of, if it's coming at us in a more substantial way or if we kind of get some outskirts of it.
I have actual breaking news.
You have actual breaking news?
Amy, I'm reporting from the other side of the table. I don't know what you're looking at, but I'm reporting.
Michelle, hang on, Michelle.
Okay,
go ahead.
Hang on, Michelle. Milton is now Category 4. Yeah, you can say it.
What the flippity flip? What the flippity flip is going on? Okay, first of all, I have to do this. I know we're talking about Milton, but we're going to talk about Miss Michelle for a minute. So this is Miss Michelle. So I'm going to cry right now, Michelle. So when I was in Virginia and I had my dance studio, Michelle was my right-hand teacher person. She was a student of mine when she was an itty-bitty girl, and then she grew all the way up. And then when we moved to Florida, she basically was the only one that knew we were really moving to Florida, because I didn't know what was happening until it was actually going to happen, until we got that clear to close, those 3 magic words, because we were making plans. So Michelle basically kind of took our students and housed them and created her own new studio, and she's doing wonderful. So Miss Michelle, I love you. Anyway, so hi, Michelle.
So so we're category 4 now.
So we're category 4 now. So yes, Eric wants me to get back to that. Okay.
No, it's just, we may be category 5 when it hits Tampa. Please, 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 for the love of God, if you're in a Tampa flood zone.
Yeah.
I was watching this morning. They said they'd never evacuated Zone C. Mm-hmm. They're going to evacuate Zone C. They're probably going to evacuate Zone D and Zone E. Get out.
Yeah.
This is not a joke.
No.
And by the way, in Orlando, those of you that are saying you're worried, yes, be worried a little bit. But we can take a category. We've taken a category 2 before. Yeah. We've been here for a category 2 and been kind of like,
Is that Irma?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. But, this could be way worse. Who knows?
Yeah.
But we're not gonna be in an evacuation zone. Everyone, please just pray for Tampa and pray for all those people. They've got all the debris still out there.
That's, I think, the hard part. Like, no one has really recovered from Helene.
Yeah. You gotta look over your shoulder, lean your head back a little bit. See Jim Cantore over there, and he's standing out by all the debris from Helene.
Yeah.
And so all that's going to go flying. They don't have time to get that out of there. And oh boy.
Yeah, this is not good. And speaking of flying, I'm gonna. This is all attached to this hurricane. It also attaches to real estate. So if you happen to have a home that is currently under construction, 2 things you need to be aware of. Number 1, here in this area, by the way, it's going to come to a halt because every builder right now is preparing job sites. Every single builder is out there securing the communities. All of that debris that's out left laying around, the trash, building materials, all that stuff that is just kind of scattered hither and yon in the communities have to be secured. Dumpsters, all of that stuff, the porta potties, everything that is out there. I'm getting chills because I'm getting a little nervous. But legitimately, if you've got a home and maybe you're supposed to close this week, or maybe not those are probably fine, but other areas, or maybe you're just like a week or 2 or 3 from it, don't be surprised if everything just kind of comes to a halt. And that's because the builders have to focus their attention in securing those job sites and making sure. I mean, you've seen them, right? You've driven past places where there's piles of wood, there's scrap wood, there's buckets, there's trash, there's water bottles, it's a mess. And so they have to secure all of that. So anyway, so just please note that. And the second thing is, another thing that we are always advised to remind our clients is that you need to bind your insurance. If you are currently under contract for a home and we are expecting severe weather like a hurricane, you need to make sure that your insurance has been bound. Is that the right word?
Yeah,
I think it's the right word. That you bind your insurance. And that's a question you need to reach out to the insurance company and the lender and make sure that you are buttoned up tight so that you don't have any issues. Because what if something happens to your home? Now the insurance company, everyone's going to want to make sure that home is okay. Anyway, so just make sure that you do those 2 things. Know that there could be a delay if you are building because we're focused priorities elsewhere for safety purposes. And number 2, bind your insurance if you are currently getting ready to close. Yes, sir.
Mrs. Florida Man had a question.
Mrs. Florida Man, the question.
She put a Q on it.
Oh, she did. Here it is. Is it a bad sign if we see Jim Cantore checking into a Flamingo Crossing?
Yes. No, she didn't really. She's kidding.
Oh.
No, Jim Cantore's in Tampa this morning.
I was like, what?
She's kidding. But I will say.
But yes, if he's here.
They may move inland to here because it's not going to be safe for them either. So I know that's said with tongue in cheek, but it could happen.
The truth is
coming right at us.
That's always the joke, right? Wherever Jim Cantore is, that's where you need to be concerned. And so,
and the second thing is check your local Waffle House. If your Waffle House closes, it's not a good sign.
Yeah. No,
You probably need to hunker down.
Yeah. No, that's the truth. So for all of us here, for any of you that happen to live here or around us, pretty much anywhere in Florida at this point, you need to make sure that you have done or are doing your hurricane prep. We actually ordered groceries and got all of that stuff the other day. Today, we're going to be pulling in our lanai furniture again. We did it for Helene. Didn't really need to, but we did because you have to be prepared. You can't just be complacent. But we are going to do that. And then I need to fix our room. Everyone, in Florida, you have a room specifically in your mind, in your plan for safety purposes. If we get those spawning tornadoes or things get really bad, sometimes you need to have a room that you are prepped to go into. And so for us, it's going to be the room under the stairs, the little Harry Potter room, which is actually our dog room. But we pull that out and we'll make that our little hunker down spot. So
Jane has a question.
Jane has a question. Okay, Miss Beautiful Jane. Jane, I thought hurricanes were names alphabetically. Did that change? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so
we have a
here's
question
the thing.
too.
So there must have been a few hurricanes since Helene that formed and went away, like in the Atlantic or something, because it does go alphabetically. Because it was Helene, then it was Isaac, then it was
Jay.
I'll look it up. I have it over there. But in any case, it was Joyce, and then Kirk, and then Leslie. So somehow we had 4 in the middle of that didn't happen. We have always kind of joked that the I hurricanes follow us. So I thought Isaac would be it. But I mean, this followed so closely. I just thought, well, maybe they skipped I's this year. And this is our I hurricane. The I hurricanes always follow the Kidwells, even when we were in Virginia.
Yeah, Forrest he just confirmed it too. Isaac, Joyce, Kirk, and Leslie. So somehow we missed them, which is interesting. But wow, it's just crazy. Thank you, Forrest. That was pretty fast. Kim, we have to take our Halloween decorations down.
Yeah, you do. Yep.
Well, I like the lightheartedness of that. But yeah, we may need to wait. Anyway, so
So we mentioned that Milton is coming.
So Milton is coming, but as something comes, that means that our son-in-law Steele is back out again. So poor guy, he literally got home. What was he here? 2 days?
Yeah,
2 days, 3 days? I don't know. Elizabeth, you can tell us. He just got back from being deployed as I don't know if deployed is the right word, but sent out with the National Guard for Helene. And then he got back and literally got a phone call and he's already gone. He's where he needs to be. So that's him with sweet little Elsie. Isn't she the most adorable, stinking, like actual baby doll? Like, I love it. She's just, oh my God, she's so stinking cute.
And as he left, she said, which we translated to Daddy, don't go.
Right. Absolutely. So, so Milton is coming. Steele has left. And for those of you that are just curious as to some things that you can put into your basic hurricane kit. Obviously, you need water. You need, several days or a week's worth of non-perishable food, so canned food, things like that. I will tell you one of the best things I always think about is just having a lot of bread and peanut butter because that will get you through. It'll fill you up and doesn't have to be refrigerated. Flashlights, batteries, battery-powered radios. By the way, I'm going to include in that solar-powered things because now there are so many of these. In fact, I have some we need to put outside. I ordered some new ones. Every year it's a hurricane, I end up ordering more stuff just to make sure we have it. First aid kits, medications, make sure you have those refilled. Don't forget your pets, obviously. Contact plan for the family. Make sure you've got extra cash. Cell phones with extra chargers. Please make sure that your phones are just basically constantly on a charger until it hits so that you can maximize every amount of juice you can. Make sure your cars are filled up with gas. And obviously that you have important documents secured in a waterproof folder or something like that. So anyway, so Milton is it's heading our way. I don't mind telling you we're I'm a little nervous on this one.
It feels different because a lot of times it's like, well, we're in the cone, it's coming up all of Florida. One of the things that I really don't like about hurricanes. And this is a human side thing. Uh-huh. When you're rooting for a shift, you're rooting against other people.
You know.
So it's like we would love a southern shift to this, but that means we're rooting against Fort Myers. That's what's terrible. But this is coming right at Tampa. This is like the worst possible thing. And this one, it's like sometimes you just kind of know it's coming. It's going to hit us. That's it. Yeah. We just know it. So everyone kind of has that vibe. Everyone's kind of like, okay. And, don't be overconfident.
Yeah.
Even though we're in Central Florida, be prepared for it to be bad. History has shown it'll probably mitigate a lot of the wind and stuff that's going to come in because of the land that's going to hit. But pray for Tampa and, get ready in Central Florida because you just don't know. Mm-hmm. Just don't know. So.
Yeah. Two quick things. Susan, by the way, good morning, Susan. She reminded us, and this is good. We didn't mention this, and this is true. They're alphabetical and they alternate in gender names. And Deb said all of those hurricanes went out into the Atlantic. So
I figured, yeah.
And that happens quite a bit, but I didn't even hear fast. Some of them. Yeah, that was like, that's a lot to have gone pretty daggone fast, in that short amount of time. I mean, Helene still just happened. So in that amount of time, we had I, J, K, L, and M.
Yep.
Lord have mercy. Anyway, all right, so let's move on to our next topic, which is real estate related. Huge builder incentives. So we are, do we have a thingy for that? No, we don't.
Yeah, we have a thing for
we do?
The builder.
Where is that?
The builder price drop thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the builder price drop. So now this is, by the way, I'm not guaranteeing you that you're going to have a price drop if you're looking for something. But I will tell you that there are some builders, we talked about last week how it was D.R. Horton's end of their fiscal year so that they were really ramping up their incentives. The end of this month is K. Hovnanian's end of their fiscal year, and there are some incredible incentives and price drops on some of their inventory homes. Guys, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a good deal if you're looking to purchase and build from dirt. That's not really what we're talking about, although sometimes you're going to get a little bit larger incentive, but I'm talking about any of these that are under construction. For instance, I won't say where, but I was out yesterday and we were looking, and there were 4 inventory homes that we were interested in. We like I'm buying it. My client was interested in, and price reductions. 2 of them, $120,000. The other 2, $150,000 price reduction.
Which is about 20%.
That, first of all, that's huge because these homes, only one of them was completed. Of the 4 homes that we saw, only one of them, no, that's not true. 2 of them were completed, but that's ridiculous. And again, if a home is completed, you tend to see a little bit higher incentive on it because they want to get that done and out of their books. But the other ones are not completed yet. We're talking like at least November, December, January closings on those, still with $120,000 discount. So it is important to pay attention to that. Not only is it the end of the fiscal year for certain builders, but as we approach the end of a traditional fiscal year, December 31st, you're going to start to see those more and more often. And again, please don't think that necessarily means that you can go in and underscore everything that they're saying. It's sometimes they're already doing that themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And also remember what that means if you're trying to do a resale.
Yes. So if you are, one more sip.
Also, if you're trying to resell a home that you bought in the last couple of years in those same communities.
This is bad.
This is not, it just is what it is.
Yes, but it's not. So so to Eric's point, so let's say you are in the community where my client wants to purchase a home that's been reduced by $120,000, $150,000. So you as a seller, as the regular seller in a resale home, you've had the home 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, however many years you are looking to sell your home. You have to understand what the builder just did. By reducing their homes that much, it doesn't necessarily show. Like if you look on the MLS, if you look at what that price is, it still shows as a specific price advertised. But what's not advertised is that discount. Now, yes, when it closes, it's going to reflect that. But the builders are also offering, 4.99% interest rates.
Sometimes lower.
They've got super deep pockets when it comes to this. So when they want to be very, very aggressive in their incentive and they want you to buy that home and contract on that bad boy, then they are going to do everything they can. So you have a low interest rate. As a seller, are you going to be able to compete with that? Are you going to be able to buy down the rate? Maybe it's something you should talk about or think about. The other aspect is the closing cost incentive. They're still offering closing cost incentives. So in addition to 120 or 150, and by the way, that's not all builders, okay? But in addition to these huge price reductions, and you're getting then also a closing cost incentive, also a reduced interest rate, that could be a little bit of a challenge. It's almost like we're not playing on the same field when it comes to a resale versus a new construction in the same community.
And if I could sum it up for you, the average historical appreciation in this area has been 5% a year, which is fantastic. But if they're reducing the price of a home by 20%, they are taking 4 years of your equity out of the home. So it's going to take you 4 more years to gain that money back. If you just bought, if you bought the home for $120,000 more, then there you go. Yeah. So, it's like the truth is, I think people still want to talk about hurricane.
I know. I see Sydney's. I see Sydney's question.
Question.
If Sydney asks, back to the hurricanes, if a home gets damaged during construction, who is responsible for the rebuild? I think you just answered there's insurance for that. When I built in PA, don't recall having it during the building. You don't own the home. So it's not your fault. If your home blows down completely, it's not your home until you have closed on that property. So Deb, you're closing this week. If something happens to Deb's home right now, not her home. It's still the builder's home.
But she won't have a house to move into yet.
Right. Well, I'm just saying.
Still not her thing yet.
Right. But I'm saying the responsibility of the home that she's building is not her problem to build at the moment, rebuild at the moment. That's all on the builder. So that is important to note. That's a really good question, Sydney. So even if you have contracted, you are contracting to purchase, but you have not purchased in past tense until you have closed on the property and all funds have been exchanged and funded. So even if you have sent your earnest money deposit or your balance due to the title company, it's sitting there in escrow waiting for you to close. If you have not signed closing documents and the builder has not signed those closing documents, it is not your house. So it is the builder's house. And so at that point, it's still their responsibility. That is a fantastic question. Yeah. Now, if you are doing a custom build, you might want to have that conversation with somebody else. But, as far as the production builders that we have around here, it is not your liability at all until you've closed on the property. But the day you close on that property, that's why you'll notice too, a lot of people want you to close before that hurricane hits. Anyway, but that is a fantastic question. Good. Yeah, don't do that. Good job, Sydney. That was a fantastic one. Anyway, did you say there were other questions about that?
People understand we're still talking about hurricanes.
Kathleen, the part that makes me nervous is that it's on the same original path of Hurricane Ian. Yes, Ian changed at the last minute, hit Punta Gorda.
It's that same thing. It's like, it's going to hit somebody. Yeah. So anywhere in that cone, you got to be ready.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's
and it's going to hit Orlando. By the way, no matter what, it's coming to us.
Yeah, Deb. Deb. I was just talking about Deb. So Deb is supposed to close this week. So freaking excited! I mean, it's like she's like our person, right? Like Deb has been a part of this from the beginning. So it's so exciting to have seen her go through this entire process, and her home is ready to close this week. And she's saying gut feeling is that it's going to be pushed. So I'm hoping that's not the case, but I have a feeling it probably will be, because we're supposed to do that final walk. That's not happening probably on that day like we thought it was gonna. So I'm sorry, Deb, but we'll it'll be okay. It'll be okay. You can come hang out with us. It's fine. And you've got a place to stay, so never mind. You got your own house. Another one. Anyway, okay. So anything else going on? Anna says, makes it difficult when building a home, have to wait till officially closed, building a pool. I may have missed something there.
Yeah.
Not sure. Okay. Anyway, so yes, Erica, we get ready to say something else.
Let's talk about me.
Let's talk about it. Oh, I did it again. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, you can do the Eric, hit the button.
All right, I'll hit the Eric update. Fine, I'll hit the Eric update.
So what's it say?
Afternoon delight.
Okay, so this is...
Stop it.
No. Well, here's the thing. So we'll try to go through these quick because, again, I think people are going to have more questions about hurricane But everybody's so nice. And they want to ask about me. And I gained 2 pounds this week.
Yes, he did.
Which is, since I was losing a pound every day, having gained 2 pounds this week, things are going good. Eating better. I'm hydrating constantly, which I think is the key to the whole thing. Afternoon delight is this. I wanted you guys to know that it's not all just like doom and gloom all the time. Amy's going to play you something. This is before we went into my chemo doctor appointment to say, we're going to set up the chemo. I was very, very nervous about this appointment. But as we pulled the parking lot, a song came on, and we have a tradition that if I hear this song, I lip sync it and send it to my friend Chip. It's been going on for a few years. So this is a quick moment of levity. Anyway.
We're so stupid.
Yeah, so that's done. But, so the next thing on the list was what? What was
Ports and meds.
Ports and meds. So I'm supposed to get a port maybe this week, which means I'm going to put a little thing here to do the chemo.
This week.
I'm not thrilled to have chemo. I'm feeling so good now, and now it's going to be like, now you don't get to feel good again. So that's fine. And what was the third thing? Oh, and so here's the thing. So here's the ironical thing. We have been waiting for 45 days to get an appointment with a transplant surgeon because ultimately I'm going to need a liver transplant. That's what's going to happen. And so the chemo, the whole thing is to get ready for the transplant surgeon. Amy, I'm going to ask you 2 questions.
All right.
When is my appointment with the transplant surgeon?
Thursday.
Amy, when is Hurricane Milton hitting?
Thursday.
So that's the ironical thing is that I probably got blown out of this appointment. I've been waiting 45 days for. So I'm going to call them this morning and just say, can we go earlier? Can I go ahead and schedule it for Friday or Monday or something? Because I don't want to have them call and go, all right, we can see you in 2 weeks because it's enough already. And there's a big decision I have to make based on this appointment. But Milton.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah. Like it's just the timing is just
Milton.
The timing is horrible. Anyway, yeah. So I think that was all of our brewing topics, was it? Yes,
I think it was it.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So here we are. Yeah. So that's just unfortunate timing. In fact, even so much so, I think if I'm not incorrect, let me just double check my calendar. So yeah. So even Deb. So the final walkthrough, she and the builder even accommodated for us an early morning.
By the way, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. An early morning final walkthrough so that I could be there with him because I wasn't able to be there for the new homeowner orientation. I can't remember now why, but I'm sure it was appointment related.
No, it was because we got that appointment.
No, the new NHO? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
anyway.
The one with the transplant.
Yes. At any rate, so it's just Milton's just going to kind of mess things up a little bit for us in many, many, many ways. But anyway, so moving on. So let's go to, what do we want to go to, dear? What do you want to do?
Well, you can do wishes if you want.
Want to do it? Let's do wishes. So, Deb, you made it to wishes. We may do it again next week for you. Sally from Seattle. So I'm super excited about Sally from Seattle. No, that's not like a lot of S's, is it? So Sally from Seattle is the perfect story of all of our long-term relationships. Sally was here 4 years ago, pre-COVID.
January 2020.
Yes, it was January 2020.
Kind of pre-COVID.
Yeah. But all the way across the country, she came in. I believe Eric took her out that day for whatever reason. I was not able. But so here we are.
Here's legitimately. I think you might have had COVID.
Maybe that's what it was.
It was when like people had COVID and didn't really know it.
Yes,
it was kind of originating in Washington where she was coming from. But I think you already had it. And then our sales rep here was walking around sneezing like crazy. But we didn't really know what COVID was. So I know for sure it was January 2020.
Yeah. So, but here Sally is, 4 years later, she's back. And what I loved, something that she said yesterday, And by the way, shout out to Curtis, who was the builder sales associate who popped over to help meet us out there on a really rainy Sunday morning as we're tramping through new construction in the sandy mud. But, she said, she goes, it always felt like home, like this felt like home. And so it is so incredibly rewarding 4 years later to see her come out, and hopefully she's going to have a decision today. There's 2 houses that she's torn between. They're literally right next door to each other, same view, just kind of cabinet color choices, exterior color, things like that. But so excited for Sally to finally, years and years in the making, get here and hopefully contract. And is Deb, again, we've already talked about, should be closing on Friday, but well, we'll see. And then Sherry, oh my gosh. Can I tell you, all right, I'm going to tell you something that is probably not appropriate for me to tell you. I am so excited to not have to work with that other agent on the other side of the transaction, because not everybody is great to work with, and I'll just leave it at that. But Sherry, oh my gosh, so excited for her. We sold her home in the Dr. Phillips area. It closed on Friday. It was a really emotionally exhausting experience. And you may remember one when we talked about an addendum that was to the literally midnight and didn't do anything right, and she added something at the last minute. It's that one.
And that was you doing everything right, and Sherry staying up till midnight, even though she'd be at work at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And the other agent sending addendums at midnight on the last thing and saying, oh, my buyer may be asleep, so well.
It's like, no, things have to get signed. But
that was the most, I'm going to say it, that was the most unprofessional agent I've ever heard of in my life.
It was horrible.
Into the fact, at one point you said, by the way, my husband just got diagnosed with cancer. We're going through a lot here. So if you can give me a minute. And she's like, well, that may be the case, but we still have to get this deal done. It's like, wow, you're awesome. And it was like her 4th deal of all time.
That was the frustrating part of it. And by the way, we've all been to that point. No one just starts out having hundreds of sales. Okay. So we've all had 1 or 2 or 3, and we're building up. So we've all been there. But in that particular case, she was the one who thought that the way you satisfy an inspection item is to extend the inspection period. That's not how you solve an inspection item. You note it, document it, what you want to have done. Anyway, I'm just saying, Sally, thank God that one is over. We are super excited. What did I say?
Sally.
Did I say Sally? Oh, Sherry. Sorry, Sherry. I'm so excited that one is over.
And by the way, that one's closed. We're done.
I'm done.
Text us, ask us for anything.
Peace out.
Here's one of the things that happens. The reason why it's important to have an agent that works well with other agents is, let's say something happens. Okay. By the way, something did happen, so the compressor went bad the day before their final walkthrough. Our client is a good person. She said, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna mess around. I don't want them moving in without a thing. So we had somebody go out there, fix the compressor. She paid for it.
Yep.
Everything was good. Took care of it. Right now, if something goes wrong with that house and she's like, well, whatever, she's going to get a text back that says as is, because she has not earned any goodwill whatsoever. And the lady over there is the queen of goodwill. We always want to do right by everybody.
Yeah.
She has, 7 or 8 times has gone out of her way to destroy goodwill. So as is.
It's as is. Yeah, it definitely is a relief when some of those trickier ones are over. But I have to tell you, in most cases, everybody's wonderful. Even the ones that can be stressful and a little tedious are usually amicable, right? Yep. It's usually, I'm working in the due diligence of my client, they're working in theirs. And as realtors, we usually have that conversation behind the scene, and we can get things remedied and taken care of. But this was not good. But anyway, moving on. My girls are having their ports out this week, and I have extra port cream sitting around. My girls would be happy to drop it off after the storm, and Eric can put it to good use.
Here's how little we know.
What's port cream?
I'm assuming it goes under your skin, so I'm assuming you rub it on there. That's very sweet, Fanny.
That's very sweet.
Well, we don't even know when the port's going in, but God, people are so nice.
Seriously, can on that note of nice. We talked about our cup overflowing, and last week it was you. It is still you. Two things. This morning, I woke up early, and my niece in Virginia, so my niece, my older sister has 4 kids as well. One of them passed away, but she has twin daughters, and Chelsea and Chandler. And Chelsea sent me a message this morning via text. Her dad's going through cancer, so she's like, they're in Virginia, so she sends me this long thing, and she's like, here's his doctor, and he's been great, and all of this helpful information. And then another client, another client of ours has been texting periodically. Gosh, they closed several months ago, right? And he reached out, and he's like, how's Eric? And I honestly, I don't know what he does. I don't know if he's a doctor, he must be in the medical field somehow. But he has sent me emails with an entire list of hospitals and physicians that specialize in Eric's specific condition. He has sent an entire 3 or 4 page list of questions to ask our medical team. Yes, where we are now, where we are, once chemo has started, where we are pre-transplant, where we are during the transplant recovery period, questions to ask after. I cannot explain to you how touching that is. So for all of you out there, just offering, again, just it's just so greatly appreciated. And again, Fanny, we're like, port cream. That's very sweet. I'm sure when we get to that point, we will follow up with you. Yes, sir.
Just jumping around. Chrissy has a question about something else, which I can answer if you want.
Chrissy. Oh, I see it. Chrissy, we're in the middle of purchasing a home in Horizon West that has an assumable mortgage. We've been told that it could take a while. Any experience with these or advice you could offer? Well, first of all, congratulations and welcome to Disney's backyard. So we're happy to have you here as neighbors and friends. If you ever see us out somewhere, please make sure you introduce yourself. So I actually have not had anybody go through with an assumable mortgage, but Eric said he wants to chime in, so I'm going to let him take it.
Basically, more moving parts means longer time.
Yeah.
An assumable mortgage means there's different qualification things. Maybe a VA loan. Those tend to take longer anyway. Just know that more moving parts means more things. Be ready for them to call at every single step. You might think you're done, and they might go, we need 10 more pieces of paperwork, just because that happens anyway. With an assumable mortgage, boy, it can happen a lot. So just be ready for that. That's awesome if you got an assumable, especially got a low rate from before. That's awesome. But just be prepared with the paperwork, and do not do any of the things that we always tell you not to do. No new loans, no new applications. Don't file anything. Don't change your credit rating in any way, or you're going to have more paperwork, and you do not want to blow that thing out of there. So that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. Well, good. Well, hopefully that answered your question, Chrissy, a little bit. But again, welcome. So, text me later. Let me know where you are. And if you see us out and about. And of course, by the way, Eric and I were, where were we? I don't know. We went to Publix. Eric was starting to get a little bit more of an appetite back, which for me has been the biggest concern, was trying to get Eric to eat actual food and not just, drink protein shakes all day. So we were walking through, it was Publix, wasn't it? I guess. Anyway, yes, it was. So we were in Publix and we were getting ready to go check out, and somebody stopped us and
I want to say Sydney and Sheldon.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Sheldon, I'm sure of. Her name, I'm so sorry if I don't recall.
That's right. But they live out here and just recognizes and stopped to say hello. So if they happen to be watching, we apologize for the way we were looking, and you probably caught us a little off guard because we were, we were just being Eric and Amy out getting groceries, trying to find something for Eric to work. And I think Eric to eat rather. And I think right before they said they stopped us, Eric had just said, I'm starting to feel it. I need to go. And so
I was starting to get sad.
Yeah, we just needed to get out of the store. So I'm like, if that ever happens, by the way, Eric and I are nice people. If we ever seem a little standoffish or a little
we love it when people say hi. I love it so much.
It's bothered me so much because I'm like, I hope they didn't think that we were being like didn't want to talk to them or anything. It was
we just walked up and down every aisle, and so I was tired first of all, and I was waiting for something to spark. Okay, yeah, that's something I could eat, and there was nothing. There was nothing that sparked appetite in me at all. And I had literally just said to her,
Yeah.
I'm starting to get sad.
Yeah. It was
probably 5-minute warning. And then they're like, hey, you're Hurricane Amy.
Yeah.
So sorry about that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. So real quick. So Deb said, really our closing and walkthrough are not important compared to your doctor appointment, Eric, hoping they can get you scheduled for the hurricane. And then Chrissy said, thank you. Look at this. We live in St. Cloud now and are excited to move your way. I hope it's worth the 2.6 rate.
Hang on. Fight for that rate. Stick to that rate.
Oh my gosh.
Do whatever is required. If it takes 6 months, get that rate, get that rate, get that rate.
Keep me updated with that, my friend. Let me know how we can help. I mean, I'm sure you have a realtor that's helping you through the process. So deal with them because you're not really supposed to, but you know what I mean. Just yay, welcome. And then Deb says, I'll stop you in Publix too. Of course, Deb.
She has.
She has. Yes, she has. As do many of our clients and friends.
Actually, that's not true. She stopped me at Jersey Mike's.
Was it Jersey Mike's?
No, where was it? No, it was Tijuana. No, it was Lime Fresh.
Okay, wow.
I saw them at Lime Fresh Mexican Grill.
All right, you're a hoot. Okay, all right, let's go to the market report. So, big story, nothing really changed. From last week to this week, you can see it's 25-day absorption rate. You can see that the actives, there's 4 more than there were last week. There are 3 less canceled. There's a few more closed, expired, a few less of those. Pendings are exactly the same. Withdrawn doubled. There's 10 withdrawn as opposed to 5. And then again, 17 to 18. So really not a lot of change, not a lot of fluctuation from last week to this week when it comes to our market pulse. Anything you want to add to that? Or are you cool? Just move on.
I'm cool to move on, except to say that I think the other thing that's happening there is there's a lot of houses that sell pretty fast. There's a lot of houses that take a long time. So that 25 days is an average.
Oh yes. By the way, those are averages.
Yeah. Yes. So don't, it's like, I think some things sell really, really fast. Yeah. Some things are taking a long time. There's not a lot of things that are taking a medium amount of time.
Right. Well, and that's like, so we have a home that we're going to be, we have one that just went active. We didn't actually talk about that one, but we have one that went active last Thursday. It's a little villa, like a duplex in a gated community in Groveland. Very close to you, Gary. And I have a client that is getting ready to put her home up for sale. And we were kind of talking about that. It's very hard to determine. It's very hard to determine how long a home is going to sell. I mean, obviously, if we knew the answer to that, then we would all be magicians. But that's not the way it works. As we've said many, many, many times, as long as your home is being marketed, as long as it is on the MLS, the third-party sites have it, as long as there is some generation outside of that realm, then all we're doing is trying to find that buyer out there that's going to match. And sometimes there's just not enough buyers out there that are looking for what you have, where you have it, when you have it available. And that can be frustrating because we have definitely have homes right now that I'm like, why the flippity flip is it still on the market? It is priced ridiculously well. The home is fantastic. And it's crickets. And then you've got other homes that, just like boom, boom, boom. It's like a revolving door of showings and offers. So there really is, I say there's no rhyme or reason. I mean, obviously you can make some assumptions and go through some trends of things. But generally speaking, I wish we all could say definitively, yes, your home will sell by X number of days, but it just doesn't work.
Tracy, do you have a question?
Yeah, you want to answer?
Sure.
So what does hold, Tracy asks, what does hold mean on the market report? Sorry, kind of a newbie here. No
There's
worries.
A bunch of different statuses. There's temporarily off the market.
Just TOM.
Yeah, but that's mostly what that hold is. It's not off the market, but it's not being marketed.
Right.
So just hold means hang on a second. And sometimes people will hold it because they think they're getting an offer coming in. So there's a couple different statuses that reflects, but it's not that important to the market numbers, if that makes sense.
Well, and more importantly than maybe thinking that there's an offer coming in, maybe so. But in most cases, it could be like, okay, so our home is on the market. We find out we need to have a new roof. We have to get the new roof installed. So we take it temporarily off the market. We kind of hold it for a minute so we can get the new roof on. And then we continue on with the listing and the marketing aspect of it. I actually have one right now that's temporarily off the market. I have another one that's going to go temporarily off the market just because in both cases, the current homeowners, it didn't go under contract fast enough for them in order to take advantage of an offer that was out there for another home for them to go to. And one of them, it was an investment. So it's like, well, they're going to, to revisit things after the holidays. And that tends to be what we see around this time of year. You might see a few more that go off the market temporarily. It doesn't mean that it's never going to come back on. It just means that we're kind of going to pause it a little bit because, if we didn't get the interest, late summer, early fall, they're probably just going to wait so that they can enjoy the holiday season in their Florida house.
This is totally random, but we got a lot of people watching today, but we don't have that many likes. So make sure you like the stream.
Everybody like it.
That helps us if you like the stream.
That kind of really appreciate it.
Oh, sorry. Don't do that.
No, it's all right. Every once in a while, like pulling it back. So they told me I needed to do this exercise, and I can't get my elbows.
Not a lot.
I can't. I know. I can't get. It hurts a little bit because I have to stretch it back. But anyway, very good. Any other questions? If not, we're going to keep moving on. Okay,
keep moving on because now MC Hammer's song "Pray" from the '80s is in my head.
Oh God. All right, Diz Deb, you know this. So, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven there at Flamingo Crossing is open. I was there yesterday. I think I was on my way back from meeting with Sally. I swung by right beside that 7-Eleven is a Wendy's, and I swung through there to get my hubby over there a baked potato to see if by chance he could eat something a little more solid. And it was filled with cars. So they are open. They are pumping gas, and I bet they're going to be busy all day today as we but I'm so excited. There's another place to get gasoline right now. We know we have the 7-Eleven that's at the Mark there off of Sidell Road or on Sidell Road. And now we have this 7-Eleven at Flamingo Crossing, and then we still have the one at Walmart there in the Hamlin area. So for people who live here, you have no idea how excited we are that there's another place. Yay. All right. Very good. Okay. Boom. All right. Yes. Somebody said done already. Okay. Yes. Give us those thumbs up. All right, I'm going to go to what I'm watching. Okay, so I just finished this last night, and I'm so bummed because I didn't realize I don't know enough about this. I think it was obviously a CBS original. It's called Fire Country. It was 22 episodes. I watched the last one last night, but I didn't realize it was the last one. Like, I thought it was going to go to the next season. I thought it was the end of season 1. So I haven't had enough time to look and research and see if there are more seasons.
Oh, bother.
Mm-hmm. And whether or not I'll be able to watch it on Netflix or if I have to find another service to watch it on anyway. So if you've watched this, tell me if you know if there's more seasons of it. I told you my taste is very diverse. The only thing I really don't like is a lot of military shooting and death and abuse and torture. I can't handle that. Yeah, but other than that, it's pretty diverse. Anyway, yes, Diz Deb said she's so excited about a 7-Eleven. I know you are. Look, okay, by the way, hold on. I have to tell you. Read what she said. So excited about our new 7-Eleven. Don't you love it? That's right. It's our area, right? This is where we live. It's good. Hey, real quick, totally off the subject. Kim Sokolsky, for some reason, when I can't eat, cinnamon toast does the trick. So that might not be a bad idea. A little cinnamon sugar toast. Sure. Thanks, Kim. All right, so let's move on. What was the other thing? Word.
Oh, now come on, Amy, tell me what's the word.
Oh.
All right, timeline. Okay, so this is obviously this should make a lot of sense because you know what timeline means. But let's talk about this in terms of if you're looking to purchase a home. There's a couple of things that you need to do. And for some people, they are very open-ended. They do not have a specific time frame where they need to be in a certain house by a certain time. They're like, oh, it's going to be a vacation home. And so their timeline is fluid. That's fine. But if you are not in a scenario in which your timeline is fluid and you do have more definitive timelines. Let's say you're being relocated for your employment and you need to start work by a certain day. There might be a more definitive timeline for you. If you are, you've sold your existing home and you're trying to map it out so that you're not displaced for too long or too extended a period of time, you might have a more definitive timeline. So you need to backtrack that timeline. Now, I completely understand some things are more like, ooh, that rug just came out from under us. We've got to move in 2 months. Okay, that's, again, a different scenario. It just means that our timeline is going to have to be escalated a little bit. But if you know in advance, okay, I'd love to move by next, let's just use a family with kids, for instance, because that's usually an easy one. Okay, your school ends in June where you live now, but our school starts in August here in Florida. So you want to be here in place by like July. So July is your nugget. July is your nugget timeline of when you want to be able to close on your home in Florida so that you and your family can move in, acclimate to your new space and your new surroundings, new neighborhood. July. Then take July and use that as your target and let your realtor know, if you're looking for one, I'm available. Let your realtor know that that is your timeline. That is where you would like to close. And the word is close. You want to close on your property as early July as possible. Because what that tells us from our perspective is that it takes about 30 days to close on a property here, 1 month. So if you want to be in your home the first part of July, that means you need to contract the first part of June. So now you need to start looking a couple of months prior to that and get your realtor on board so that you can start looking for homes. Now, does that mean you need to start looking in January? Not necessarily looking for houses in January, but you can absolutely start the conversation with the realtor in January and start to think about, because maybe if it's new construction, maybe there's some homes that are slated to be completed around that timeline that works for you. But that's the key, is you need to make sure that you know the date you want to close and move into your new home. Back that up 30 days. That's when you need to contract on that home if it's a resale, okay? And then from there, allow yourselves, a few months, I would say at least 2 months to start looking for properties. Because sometimes it's just a more broad search as you start to look at the broad picture, and then you can narrow that circle down, then you can narrow that circle down, and then all of a sudden we can pinpoint to where that house is going to be. And that's going to give you great peace of mind that you've done your due diligence and that you've looked at a lot of different options. So timeline, that's a good one. All right. Yes, sir. Are we going to say something?
No.
Nope. Okay. But I have to do this. I have to do baby. Okay, so we showed you a picture of Elsie being held by her daddy, getting ready to head out when he needed to leave for the National Guard. But here is Mr. Easton. Look at him eating a banana. Is that not the cutest stinking picture? His hair cracks us up, but in this picture, it actually looks pretty good. Usually it looks a little wonky doodle, but oh my gosh, like seriously, is he cute? Tell me. I have the cutest grandbabies in the world. Like seriously, I do. And I'm so sorry for everyone else. Anyway.
The next picture, the next picture. Something that made you very excited.
Very excited. I gotta find it. Beep, beep, beep,
the baby opens.
I know, I see.
The picture of it right on the thing.
I see it. This, yes. Honey, you have to understand, my eyes are not great. Okay, so you have to give me a hot second. All right, so Elizabeth ordered their Christmas stockings. So now their sweet little family is going to have their first Christmas together in their home, and they're going to have their new stockings. And what's really sweet is these are the same stockings that we have for our family. I think ours were like Lily and Vernon or something. It was like I have had them for gazillion trillion years. Well, not a gazillion trillion, but since we had our kids. And so that's very sweet that Elizabeth got the same ones. They have like a cross-stitch effect on them. So very excited. I think Allie said, oh, that's a good reminder. I need to order mine. So that's exciting. Was that Diz Deb? Nope, that's a different. That's different ones. Okay, sorry, I'm getting little messages over here from builders, which is funny because I'm like, I bet they're starting to say we're doing this, doing that, doing the other. Anyway,
quick update on that thing you have right there.
Elizabeth or Allie says Easton is a banana fan. Yes, he is. Would you say quick update where?
On that thing that's sitting right there.
Yes. I know. I was getting through it. And then last thing is new book alert. This is not Allie's book. Allie's book is coming, but this is our sweet friend Daryl Ross. This is his second book, yes?
It's like his third.
Third book? Wow. We know some really smart people. So Daryl does,
his picture's on the back there.
There he is. Oh, there he is. That's Daryl. His wife is Jen Ross, the lovely dancer, the one that took me to get my wrist surgery. Daryl and Jen are usually kind of watching this at some point. Maybe not live right now, but they definitely watch, and so we are going to give a little shout out to his book. You can get this on Amazon. Lead with Service: How to Transform Your Culture with Customer-Driven Leadership.
And he really is the best. And
He's
so you might know he and I were business partners for quite a while, training healthcare workers on customer service and things. And he has continued to do speeches across the country and is very in demand because he's the flipping best.
He's fantastic. And you know what's funny, Elizabeth says, "Got to go. Baby's awake." We have a great week. We got you. All right, sounds good. Go get Elsie. Daryl. Well, so first of all, Daryl and Eric. One day we should do it if we haven't already. We need to pull a little. Have we ever shown a video clip of you and Daryl performing like summer rhythms? We need to find that. But remember, we performed with them a gazillion years ago. Daryl was in a lot of the main stage shows with me. There was also a year that he was the outdoor show called Summer Rhythms. 2 years.
Top show ends.
With Eric, and they are their timing. They are like the best, like, I won't say comedy duo, although they're pretty funny. But like, when you see those people that have kind of that instantaneous timing, they sense each other. They're just so good from every aspect, whether it's performing or whether it's facilitating. And so they were doing a lot of facilitating when we first moved here for Eric's original job when we first moved here. Almost done, Daisy. And they really are a fantastic team together. But on that note, Daryl is fantastic in and of himself, all by himself. He does a lot of these workshops, and so he has a new book out. So anyway, all right, my friends, did I get everything, dear?
Well, Curtis did have a question. I may be able to find it. He just said, when you buy new construction, when are the payments due?
There it is. Okay, I see you. Curtis, when purchasing new construction, when are the payments due? Okay, so that's a really good question. So Curtis, if you are buying new construction, you're going to have an initial deposit due at the time of contract. That is, first of all, always check with your builder because sometimes they fluctuate. But in most cases, it's going to be 5% of the purchase price. Or if it's something where you are still need to go to the design center, then 5% of the base price. But think 5% in your brain. That's what you pay once you contract. And as a reminder, guys, if it's new construction, 2 things secure that home for you. And you have to do both. You have to sign the contract and you have to send the earnest money deposit. So if you just sign a contract, but you don't send money, you've only done half of it. And if you send money, but don't sign the contract or the purchase agreement, again, you have to do both of those. So that'll be the first amount of money that's due. In new construction, there is not generally a secondary installment or payment due, unless maybe you go to the design center and there's a threshold of how much money they allow you to spend at the design center before they require an additional deposit. So that may be a scenario where you need to pay more money. Or there could, stop, Daisy Jane. There could be a scenario where if it's a cash purchase and you need to put 20% down, a lot of builders up that for if it's a cash purchase. Sometimes they will allow you to do it, in stages, like incrementally, like, okay, I'll do half now and then half in 30 days. But generally speaking, it's just your initial earnest money deposit and potentially a secondary design center payment if you happen to go over a threshold. Hopefully that helped, Curtis. Okay. All right. With that, are we done, dear?
We're done except for one thing.
There's
done. A 32% chance.
32%.
That if the storm is coming at a time that's convenient to do it, we might do a quick coffee time live, like as the storm's coming. Depends on the time. Amy's not going to want to do it, but I'm going to want to do it. So there's a 32% chance. So I'll put a thumbnail up and a schedule like an hour before we do that. So you'll see it pop up. So make sure you do the little bell on your thing for notifications, because we'll try to bring you some storm footage Might even just put up a camera outside and let you see the storm as it comes. We'll see. But everybody in Tampa, hunker down. We love you. Everybody in Orlando, hunker down.
Yeah.
Everybody in Florida. And God bless everybody. Keep our steel in mind. And we'll see you next week.
And on that note with steel, if they tell you to evacuate, please evacuate. They're not kidding. And yes, many times people are told to evacuate and then they, it fizzled or something happened. But the key is to not have you need the National Guard out there to pull you out because you were, you stayed behind. So everyone, please be safe as always, as we wrap it up. Please remember to stay safe, stay well. Remember, we love you guys. We appreciate you so stinking much. We cannot express it enough. We really do. We love you guys. Have a wonderful day and see you next Monday. Bye. Happy house hunting.